Hey there, beautiful people, and happy terrific Saturday. I hope that you have been enjoying some of your favorite things or that you've had an opportunity to get out. I know that I did today. If you haven't had a reason to smile or laugh today, I can guarantee you that by the time we are done here, as you well know, you're almost guaranteed to laugh at me or with me by the time it is all said and done. And so we're here. I'll wait a little while. Hi, Tyson. To give people a chance to catch on. I know I went from 6,000 elevation to here, so I'm here. I had to go back to the sippy cup because if you watched, hi Craig, because if you watched the last episode where I spilt on myself, that was great. So back to the sippy cup. It was, it's always so amazing how you can actually feel the difference in the climate when you go from where I'm at and you go up in the mountains. The air gets better, you know, it gets more crisp, it gets it's just so much nicer. And then of course, you know, I am not a fan of traffic, so when I get up into those areas, everything slows down, and that's just the way I like it. I know a lot of people are like, oh well, she's, you know, she's city girl. Yes, I was born in the city. I did get to spend 7 years in the country though, so I do miss it dearly. So I'm not just a city girl. But I'm going to go over a few, hi Crystal, happy Saturday. I am going to go over a few quotes like I always like to do, but I did find a penny in the mountains. I don't know, for those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know hi Freddie, you know my love for pennies and pennies from heaven, and how I feel like they're always messages from angels to let us know that they love us and they're looking out for us and that everything is going to be okay. Hi John. And so I did find a penny. Matter of fact, I really still have it in my pocket. Did I have it in my pocket? You see, I missed it. My penny. So I found a penny while I was up there, and it made me smile because I know that you know, everything is good and life is good, and it's just really a beautiful time even amidst all that's going on. Today the message is going to be hi Rose, hi Freddie, hi John, hi Walter. The thing is creating new habits, and I want to go over some really quick points about that. But first, let's go over some quotes. You ready? Okay, I didn't pick a particular, matter of fact, okay, we'll go with this one. There are no good girls gone wrong, just bad girls found out. Okay. I would always rather be happy than dignified. I know that's right. You educate a man, you educate a man, you educate a woman, you educate a generation. Oh, let me say that again. I kind of like that one. Hold on. You educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, you educate a generation. Okay, I'll take that. Every man I meet wants to protect me. I can't figure out what from. This must be the woman section or something, because this book of quotes has different sections or whatever, so I won't bore you with some of that. But anyway, so I had an interesting day, and I hope that you guys do this often. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. And you can probably tell me a million reasons as to why you can't do it, but I'm going to tell you a million reasons why you can. You know, I always like to stick to the positive flip side of everything. Okay, so I have a tendency to have urges to go out and go be one with the earth. And it happens. In the summer, I enjoy going to the beach. I like going to the lakes. I like going to places that really bring out the ultimate peace, the ultimate, hi Michael, the ultimate true self. And so today I was like, you know, I didn't really know where I was going to go. That's just kind of how I do. So I got up, I did my non-negotiable items, which we've talked about. You need to always have these things in your life that you put as a constant in your life to keep you balanced. And if you missed it, it's a couple videos back. And it just talks about there are things that you should always start your day with. Hello, Leonard. That you should always start your day with and stay consistent with those, because that is what constitutes and helps build your character into disciplined and getting the most out of life. So today when I woke up, I said, you know what? I really just want to go out. Hi, Sean. I really want to go out and I want to see beauty. I really want to go and feel God around me. I really want to go and feel the abundance of life, the goodness. And so I did my non-negotiable items for the day. When I was done with that, I took the camera and I went out to, when I think it was up to 6,000. I don't know how far it was. I just drive. I started to see snow, and so I said, okay. And then I started to see a little more snow. I said, okay. And then I'm sitting there going, okay, I don't know that I'm in a proper little car to be going up into some snow. I mean, I'm sure I could have handled it, but I am chicken. So confession number 1 for you guys tonight. I'm chicken to drive in the snow. So, okay, so that's the Californian in me, right? So I was like, yeah, chicken to drive in the snow. But so I went up there and I stopped where I wanted to. I stopped wherever it called my name. And so why finding that painting was so beautiful to me, it tells me that I'm in alignment. It tells me that I'm doing what I need to be doing. And, you know, some people go, you just go anywhere. I do. I absolutely do. There have been times I've got in my car and just went to a different city just because I didn't know where it was and I didn't know things of that city. And so I just got a chance to explore. The reason this is so important is because it keeps you wired in a good way. It keeps you feeling new. It keeps you thinking in a good way. It keeps you experiencing newness. Newness does something to us that habit and mundane and everyday same old doesn't do for us. And so sometimes you just need to go and not know and go and fall into some really fun parts of your day. And then you'll get laughs and you'll get smiles that are absolutely free of charge. And you can just do that throughout your day and feel like, wow, life really is worth living. So that was my experience today. But what I want to talk to you about was creating new habits. And we're talking about keys to keeping new habits. When you decide to make a change within yourself, I've got to say this first of all. Get ready. First, congratulations. 1B. Okay, that was 1A. 1A, congratulations. 1B, be ready. Because I say that anytime you go to modify yourself, anytime you go to give yourself a new learning process or to add a better quality-driven thing in your life, you are going to have obstacles and there is going to be a little bit of growing pain with that. But you think about the muscles, right? Hi, Johnny. The muscles, without that tear, without that tearing down, they wouldn't be able to build up. And I'm sure that those of you who do working out can relate to that soreness that comes after, or that feeling of, you know, something is ripping, you know, and that it hurts. So that's what happens. And every time you think about quitting, if there's nothing you take away, if what I'm saying to you goes want from here on out, I need you to take this with you. I really need you to take this with you. Every time you think about quitting something that is good for you, every time you think about quitting some good, hi Ken, some good habit that you're trying to create, every time you think about quitting, I want you to put your hand on your heart and I want you to say, if my heart felt the same way I do right now, where would I be? And I promise you, you'll think twice about quitting a good habit. Because if your heart one day had a bad day, or your lungs one day had a bad day and said, you know what, we're just not going to do this good habit anymore. We're just not going to keep moving forward. Hi, Tyrone. You would think twice about quitting that new good habit you're trying to reinforce in your life. So, hi, Bishop. I hope everything is well with you and your family. Love and prayers. First of all, when trying to implement and create new habits in your life, find your why. Find your why. You have to know why you're doing something other than because you just watched a commercial on some exercise program, or this mirror coach, or this new keto thing, or this new relationship 101, or this whatever it is. You cannot have had some kind of a hi Barbara, hi Danny. Oh yes, so glad that you're watching from India. Hello to India. You have to know why you're doing something. You have to understand your why. And the biggest part about this is because it's the only thing that's going to keep you going when you want to quit. I'll give you an example my son had when he was playing high school football, college football, and he was even possibly talking about going to next level. And NFL was kind of one of those things that were in the background. I told him, I said, what makes you want to go? And he was like, looking at me like, come on, Mom, it's the NFL. Why would a kid not want to go to the NFL? And I told him, I said, Zay, you have to set yourself apart. I said, because there has to be something. What could you do by being in the NFL? And he was like, well, I want to help kids that were like I were, that were raised by a single mother and maybe didn't have their father. I said, okay, how could you help them? And he said, well, I could build like gyms and I could build, these programs. And so my story of telling you this is because, hey, Tennessee, is because, Amy, you are late. What happened to 6? Hi, Barbara. It is 6 where I live. It's 6:09 actually, so sorry. So my key to that is you have to know why you're doing something, and it has to be bigger than just yourself, because you'll quit on yourself. You have quit on yourself. If you look back to the history of your habits, you can see where you've quit on yourself. So whatever you're trying to do, you have to first know your why. Number 2 is you have to make that decision daily. You have to continue to make that decision. You can't have leftover good habit from yesterday and say, well, I did really good yesterday, so today I'm gonna take the leftover from yesterday. There is no leftover from yesterday. Every day you have got to start daily. You got to choose it daily. The other thing is you can't decide, okay, I'm going to be halfway in and halfway out. I'm going to be halfway into my new habits and partially into my bad habits. I'm going to be in my past, but in my future and in my now. You can't do that. The hardest thing with change and with people in deciding into having a new future and in deciding to move forward is that they are so afraid that there's something that they're going to miss from their past, that they still have one eye to the left in the past and only one eye forward. And I don't know if, let me ask you, can anybody see with one eye this way and one eye that way? Not many people. I mean, it's really hard to see straight when you got one eye over here and one eye over here, right? Can you picture that? That's probably hard to see. You get it. Anyway, so you want to make sure that you're seeing that daily, that you're seeing the choice that you made and that you're in love with it, that you may not be in love with the getting into the good habit and making it a habit, but that your why is something that you love, and you make that decision daily. Here's what happens is a lot of people, they'll get on this path to doing better and they're good, and then one weak moment they'll flop back to their old self, and then they'll let just an inkling of smudge of their old habits get in and say, well, it's just a little bit. Well, it was just one time. Well, it was just this, it was just that. And what you don't understand is that when you let a little bit of smudge of your past or a little bit of smudge of something that's not good for you in, it's like a gremlin that gets fed after midnight. I don't know if you guys have seen the Gremlins, but that's literally what happens with bad habits. The minute you let them back in, the dang thing multiplies. It is not a healthy situation. You must be consistent, and I will tell you this, that your consistency, the level that you're consistent, reflects to your level of standards. If your standards say, I can only be consistent for 4 days, what does that say about yourself? If your consistency says, I can only do this for 15 days, or whatever it says, that says to your level of standard that you have yourself at. Where is your willpower? Is your willpower a 4-day willpower? I don't think so. And I always think about water when I think about consistency. It can sit there and melt away, literally melt away some of the hardest things in life. Rock, something solid. With consistency and the flow and the consistency and the flow, it eventually just melts things away. And I know that if you just find that in yourself to stay consistent, you will move away whatever rock is in your way to get to your next best self, to your best self, to the next phase of yourself. The other thing is why one day off doesn't work. I'm going to tell you why one day off doesn't work, and I'm going to give you keys to what I have learned and what I have read as far as how you do finally get to a new habit. What's that breaking point? What's that special day? You hear about that, right? Some people say 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I'm going to give you 2 theories that I know work for me, and I believe they could work for you. So until you have given your new habit time to form, let's just say, for example, you want to kind of grow yourself. So you decided, I'm going to read 1 chapter a day. I can't stand reading, but I know that I need to keep evolving. So I'm going to read 1 chapter of a particular book a day. And you were like, okay, well, I'm going to do this and do this and do this. It's late one night. You've been out all day. You're tired. You cannot take that day off. You cannot. You've got to read that 1 chapter. You have to stay consistent with your promise to yourself. If you can't hold consistency and a promise to yourself, what does that say about the placement of yourself with yourself? Where's your self-worth with yourself? How can you skip out a day on yourself? How can you do that? You wouldn't do it to your kid. You wouldn't do it to your friends. Be true to yourself. So until you've given things enough time to become a part of you as far as habit-wise and creating new good habits, do not give yourself a day off. I promise you, do not give yourself a day off until some studies say 66 days. They say in 66 days, you formed a habit. I'm not too big on 66 days. I like this one better. The 2190 rule. Has anybody ever heard of this? 2190 rule. Anyone heard of this? You do something consistent for 21 days, 3 weeks, right? 21 days you do it consistently. And then you go for another 90. Once you're able to do it for that amount of time, it's pretty much just, it's like behavior. Here's what you have to understand. The things that you do right now without thinking about them, like maybe getting up in the morning, getting in the shower, your favorite cup of coffee, getting into your car, pulling up in the same parking spot at work, going into your office, starting out the same way, turning on your computer, looking at your emails, all these things, you first had to generate a habit with that. I know it seems unreal. You probably thought you came out of the womb just running to the car and, going to work. You didn't. You eventually had to learn these habits. You learned them. Over time, you kept doing them, and because you don't have to think of them anymore, they become automatic. And that's where you have to be when you're deciding to do new things that are good for you, good habits, good ways of life, things that you're trying to manifest for you. 21 to 90 rule. And then the little, no break. So 3 weeks, and then you kind of reflect and see how you're doing, and then you go another 90. By then, it should have been a habit, no matter what it is that you're trying to do, whether it's for me, becoming vegan became automatic after day. Well, actually, it wasn't hard at all because of my whys. Remember, I told you the first thing of creating a habit is your why. If your why is strong enough, it will get you through any tough days. And so I will say, though, that as far as like shopping and second nature and it kind of coming around, that was definitely in the 60s. Day 60, day 66, it was like, okay, I get it. I feel safe shopping. I know it sounds weird, but when you're vegan, you can understand. I feel safe shopping. I know what I can order. I know what I can have. I know what I can't have. All that good stuff. So the 2190 rule, though, on point. I'm with that. And find ways to schedule it. So here's what you need to do with yourself. When you've decided, okay, I'm going to incorporate reading into my day. I'm going to incorporate 30 minutes of walking into my day, or exercise of watching a video, or somehow, some way. Don't be a sergeant to yourself. Don't be a drill master. Don't be like, you can't breathe until you do this. And I'm going to tell you why that doesn't work, because you're an adult. Adults don't like to be told what to do. I don't know if you guys have realized that or not, but adults don't like to be told what to do. They really don't. And so when you do incorporate these things, I suggest you put this on a list. Like for me, I have the 7 things I will do daily, but this is already outside my morning meditation and the morning pillars that I do. I have a list of 7 things that I have to do in my day. And so that means if I get up at 5 a.m. and I'm on and rocking and I'm done meditation by 5:30 and then I'm doing whatever, and I decide, hey, I'm going to knock this out now, you knock them out. But you give yourself the flexibility to say when you're going to do them. If you're a morning person and you have the most of your energy and stuff in the morning, hey, knock it out in the morning. If you're an evening person, knock it out in the evening. But give yourself that flexibility to say, I'm going to get it done, but I'll choose when I get to do it. And that's just because sometimes we're big old babies and we don't like to be told what to do. So be flexible with yourself. Yes, I said that. I've called you a baby. Now you can call me one too. Find an accountability partner is the other thing. I say that because it's important to have an accountability partner, because like I said, as adults, we don't like to get told what to do, but if we feel like somebody's watching, we tend to do better at it. Kind of like when guys are competing and they're maybe playing pool or something and they know that there's a girl there, they're trying to show off, or maybe their old buddy from high school and they're trying to show that they're better at pool. They for some reason do better with competition. That's kind of like an accountability partner. It's like, okay, I don't want to disappoint them because then they're going to think that I'm not doing nothing. So it's almost like it's a drive, it's a way to be like, okay, I don't want to let this person think that I'm not going to do this. And so, thanks, Ken. And so, it's important to have an accountability part. Some of you may go, look, there is nobody that I even associate with that's about bettering themselves or doing these things. Everybody's life is fine the way that it is. They don't want to do changes. I don't know who I'm going to have as my accountability partner. If that's your case, or if that's the case, I wouldn't judge too harshly. You'd be surprised how many people in your life that you don't know are trying to do things in their life to become better. And maybe if you introduced it to them, they'd be like, you know what, I kind of wanted that because I wanted to start walking, but really I just got lazy on myself. So you'd be surprised how many people actually enjoy having an accountability partner. So the other thing is, if you don't have one, don't want to find one, and you're just, you want to be an isolated case, get a journal. I've told you guys this. Journals aren't just for chicks. Journals are for everybody. Journals are the record of your life the way you really lived it. The other journals are people's opinions, what they think, what they saw, whatever. But when you journal, your journal, Even if it's taken like minutes, it doesn't have to be a sappy love story every night. That's not what a journal has to be. But at least a journal can say what you did, and hi Lynn, what you did and what you're doing and how far you came. And let me tell you, there's been so many times in my journal I've been thankful for it, because I had to go back to see when I started something, or go back to see when, you know, what holiday such and such, whatever, or whatever. I have, the other day I was cleaning out some stuff. Remember when I told you I was purging for 2021? I found a journal from 99. Yikes. So I'm here to tell you, it was really fun looking through it, but at the same time going, oh, wow. So it's also a reflection tool, because you're able to see how well you've mentally grown since, you know, 99. But anyway, you keep some level of a journal and be consistent with it, because a journal is only as good as you write in it. A journal is just paper until you make it a journal. So if you don't, just go ahead and keep a journal. If you don't want to talk to somebody as far as an accountability partner, fine, get a journal. Hi, Billy. So I do want to talk to you about one other thing, and then I'm going to give you a few verses, and I am out of here, because I know on a Saturday night you guys are probably, I don't know, California shut down, and I think it's been shut down for a while. So for me, the things that I do and that I enjoy are still up and running, which is go outdoors, go find earth, go find water, go find those things, pretty much stay open. Really quick, I do want to give you guys the definition of success, because I think that we have success pegged as something that we can look at in a currency standpoint. And I will say, with personal success does come other successes, including wealth. So I'm not going to shut the door on that. But I do want you to know that you can be successful right where you are with exactly what you have. So success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. That's it. You creating new habits in your life and you fulfilling them, that's success. So I encourage you to keep on making those things and those lists of changes that you want to see in yourself. And where do you get those lists of changes? I discussed this yesterday about triggers, right? What is it that triggers you? What is it that makes you less of the person you want to be? What is it that makes you ugly on the inside? That makes you feel like you're angry when you don't want to feel angry? It makes you feel sad when you don't want to feel sad. Let's pick those thorns. Let's take those out. Let's get rid of those. And how we get rid of them is by replacing them with good habits. And that usually comes from growth, right? When you know better, you do better. I mean, I don't know how many times I've quoted that one. All right, here's some, and I will tell you that, you know, the best thing I always remember is God didn't bring me this far to leave me. And that means that he wants to see me grow. And guess what? He's on that side too. He's up there. He's with the growth. He's forward. He's already ahead of me. That's why it keeps calling me. And that's why it keeps calling you. Because there is something that is innate within us. We're born with it to keep growing and to keep evolving and to keep being the best that we can be. And many will say that they're content with where they are. You might call me the bad guy right now, but I disagree. You will be behind yourself, always aiming to catch up if you think that standing still is safe. The reason struggle comes is because growth is resisted. I'll say that again. This is something I wrote from my heart. Many will say they are content where they are, and I disagree. You will be behind yourself, always aiming only to catch up if you think that standing still, you are safe. The reason struggle comes is because growth is resisted within you. That is in my book that I'm finishing, so that will be out this next fall. And so make sure that you get it. It's all about growth. And I will say this too. When I was speaking with Les Brown, he told me, he said, you know, Amy, you're one of those people that you can't judge a book by its cover. And he said that because he didn't realize that I wasn't a spoon-fed individual just by the way that I looked or the way that I was so happy and so vibrant and whatever. So when I had told him that I was, you know, came from where I came from and the struggles that I've been through, you know, he was kind of shocked by it. And many people are, because I didn't get happy. I didn't get joyful. I didn't get to the level of feeling this blessed just because I had to choose it. I had to choose it. And I tell you the truth of that because there were times my pain ran so deep, I was self-destructing and didn't know it. There was time my pain ran so deep, I was spilling out over to people in my life and I didn't even know it. There was time in my life where my attitude was hurting my health. It was hurting my life. It was hurting those in my life. And it was just all these things, whether a lot of people say, oh, what's your collected childhood and you deserve to be. No, you don't have to be angry. You don't have to hurt. You don't have to feel confused. You don't have to feel unloved. You don't have to feel unworthy. You don't have to do none of that. All you have to do is realize that you're not that person. There's so much more to it, and I won't go into it, but I want to let you guys know when I give you these secrets and when I take the time to give you this stuff, it's because I have come a long way with myself. And for anybody who's known me years ago would be like, yes, she was like a raging bull. And maybe I was. Yeah, that's my confession to you. And if you didn't know me 20 years ago, God bless you. Just know that you see me now and you know me now. And it's funny because I have a few friends from that long ago, but not many. You know, when you change your life and when you decide to change things in your life, the scenery and the people around you change too. And so don't go seeking and missing the past as much as you are excited about the future, because I guarantee you it's worth it. It's worth shedding skin of old and growing into new. It's so worth it. It is so worth it. All right, here's the scriptures I promised you, then I'm out of here. Proverbs 26, 11 through 12. It's kind of a harsh scripture, but it's the truth about what happens when you don't really seek wisdom. The other one is Proverbs 12:15, and it talks about how some people feel basically self-righteous, but how the wise do listen to advice. And this is my one of my favorites, Proverbs 18:15. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. Truth. All right, you guys. I hope that you have a fabulous Saturday. I know I did. Thank you for being here. And just know I only came down the mountain for you because I knew I had to be live at 6 and there is no signal up there. All right, make sure you tell yourself at least 2 times a day. Anybody gonna say it with me? Man, how come you guys aren't beating me to this already? Drop it in the box. Somebody tell me. Make sure you tell yourself at least 2 times a day. I can. Yes, you can. I will. Yes, you will. And I am so worth it. God bless you. Yes, you are. Talk to you later tomorrow at 6. Tea time with Lady.